Howdy, buddy. So I want to start this off by saying once is an accident, twice is a coincidence, three times is a pattern. And I want to make this a pattern, but I have to move through it being a coincidence first. So we're gonna get rolling here. And first thing I want to say is thank you so much for the warm reception. I was honestly just trying to. Oh gosh darn it! It begins. Um, I was honestly just trying to quietly make and upload a video. I was not really intending for it to be seen by anybody. And I know that Noah had subscribed to me already. Oh gosh, here we go. And we're good? Maybe? I know that Noah had subscribed to me already. And Ups had linked it on the clock tower. And so I got 23 more views than I was expecting. Which, a pleasant surprise, to be sure. But I was not expecting that. I was just trying to make something because I wanted to make something, and lo and behold, a bunch of you came and liked it, which I really appreciate. Thank you. And especially thank you to Noah, Ups, Christian, and Kurt for commenting. From what I am told, encouraging user engagement is one of the best ways of growing a channel, so I'm going to try and do that as much as I can. And then, oh yeah, real quick, so game administration stuff. I am currently trying to go and reclaim the bloodstain that I left over on the Drake Bridge. So that's what we're doing right now, fighting our way back through all these guys because I did not manage to kick the ladder down. And I'm pretty sure that what I'm supposed to do, that I apparently never realized before, is you're supposed to just like run through the Drake, and by running through the Drake, then you'll be okay because you can run past the fire. But if you hesitate like I did, then it will mess you up. So don't do that. Alright. Keep on moving. And I really appreciate, I also appreciate the non-commenting response that I got for this, specifically from Grizz. General Griswold Gaiusgrim of the First Larpengression Protocol, who described this as, this appears to be a video about a crazy man running around talking to himself while hacking apart skeletons and such. And I don't see anything inaccurate about any of that. The crazy seems to be pretty fitting. Running around, obviously, talking to himself, like there's nobody else here. Like these guys are all the ones that are. Can I still see them? No, they're unloaded. All the other guys here clearly aren't people. The only thing I can maybe take issue with is that they're not real skeletons. But I feel like using the virtually not alone moniker here is a little strange, so I think I'll refrain from doing that. Also, Grizz, I don't have the benefit of branding, okay? Like, I have to make like Vanderclay and turn a stream of consciousness into something watchable. Like, I don't know. Give me a break. Give me a little bit of a break. Hopefully it doesn't trigger the flames. Cool. So this is where you're supposed to go, by the way. You're supposed to come down here, and then you kick this ladder, right? And then that's the bonfire I was resting at. So I literally just had to make it this little bit extra, and then I would have been fine. But no. Okay. So a couple of other administrative notes. Tonight was our first Bremerton asteroid tonight, and it wasn't just me. Although I will say, as a public service announcement, make sure that if you have any civilians, like if you're a prior military and you have civilians in your group that you're trying to communicate with, make sure that they know that military time is not the same as civilian time. That when you say 16:30, you don't mean 6:30 p.m., you mean 4:30 p.m. because that was a bit of an issue. Thankfully, we got it resolved, but, you know. Lessons learned, right? Lessons learned. And then one other thing that I was told to make sure I plugged in my next video. We're doing a Northwestuary Beaver Moon Campout 2024. It's not winter yet. So if there is anybody up in the Northwest region who is interested in coming over to that, right now it's just going to be me, Noah, and then one of my friends from the local area. So just hit me up on Discord. Let me know that you want to come. And we've already disclosed where and when it is, so I may as well just go ahead and say it again. We're going to do the evening of November 16th to the morning of November 17th, and it's going to be at Fort Casey up on Whidbey Island. So let me know. That maybe we should change the subtitle to We Have No OPSEC. But you know what? How else would we embody the sacred order of foolish transparency? Let's just hope the assassins fail. And am I about to face an assassin? Well, I guess we'll have to just wait and see. I am going to focus up on this one because this guy's actually kind of hard. Okay. Don't kill me, please. And he hits that through 2. Okay. Can I get a backstab? Sweet. Maybe could have done a pine resin, but that's okay. I don't think I can parry the greatsword, so we're just going to have to go for backstabs. Can I get a second one? Nope, we're just going to... Oh, gosh. And that's why you don't want to fuck with this guy. And that's why you don't... Okay. Well, we will collect the bloodstain, and then we will not fight him again, because that's going to be boring if I die too many times in a video. Okay. So anyway, let's hope the assassins fail, because if there are folks watching, it would be all too easy for them to crash the event, and I really pray that that doesn't happen, but I don't know. Maybe just coming and participating in an estuary is exactly what folks need. Oh gosh, I don't have a choice here, do I? Let me at least run back down a bit, and okay, well... I don't think I've ever had him chase me up the stairs before. Well, one more shot. And while I'm killing this guy and then making my way up there... Excuse me. Excuse me. Ugh. While I'm making my way up there, because that was, what, 5-ish minutes of administrative notes and thank yous. I kind of want to talk about the idea of a gaming couch. There was something that Grizz mentioned during his stream today of how men are supposed to work side by side. That the women would gather around a knitting project. Are you going to follow me down? Yes, you are. Gosh, darn it. Okay, well, we're going to try and fight you here, so I can at least recover my bloodstain and not have this be a giant cluster. Okay. Can I get you to... Okay, shield bash. I can get a backstab off that. And let's see. Probably could have gone for... Okay, I unshielded at exactly the wrong time. Thankfully that didn't connect because I was still... Okay, and he's going to swing up. No. So one of the... Gosh darn you. One of the really important things to pick up about this game is attack patterns. That there's going to be a certain restriction on the ways that an enemy can attack you. And that was probably a really bad idea. Hello. Okay, he didn't. He's going to slow walk it. So you want to avoid that overhead smash of his, because that's going to do a ton of damage and knock you down flat. And he can chain... Okay, so that's the other one that you can do. You can do the / pierce. And it's kind of getting on a bit of a tangent, but that's kind of one of the things that's really fun about games, is learning, okay, I'm supposed to be watching for... Oh, come on, I was shielding. Thankfully I was on the ground, so it didn't count that last attack. Can I drink while you're there? No, I'm going to get killed. Okay, not killed. Even if you die, right? Every time you die, you can learn something. And that's another really nasty attack of his. Can I just... There we go. I did kill him. Hooray! And I might just use that. The Black Knight Greatsword's a pretty strong weapon. So you can learn attack patterns, right? You can watch carefully. And so even when you're dying over and over again, right? You can actually be learning something from each experience. It might not be the most productive experience. And sometimes you have to die to the same thing a couple of times before you can actually learn what it is that you're dying to and get good enough to actually handle it. But sometimes that's what it takes, and it's okay if it takes a couple of tries to make things work. And I just barely snuck in under the radar. Can I kill you? Yeah, there we go. And it takes some tries, right? You shouldn't expect that you'll be able to just memorize movements and combinations and other things like that right off the bat. Or that you'll know every possible interaction of different things, like this, for instance, right? You have to learn through it. Oh, I did not do that correctly. Well, this is going to get very interesting very quickly. Block him. I'm going to come down here. Oh, gosh. Hello. How are you, boar? Can you come down here? No, you can't. Good. Like, you can't expect that you're just going to know or be able to execute on... Okay, that's just rude. Well, that's a 10k bloodstain sitting in the bottom of a stairwell. Let's see if we can recover that. At least we don't have the Black Knight to contend with anymore. So you're as you're playing, as you're dying. Oh, I knew that was coming too. So, and that's the other thing, right? Like, you can kind of know or kind of have an idea of what attacks are going to be coming out next, and you can still get hit by them. Whether that's because of impatience or just tiredness and like you get frustrated with it. It's really easy to slip up. It's really easy to lose your discipline for a moment and then suffer the consequences of losing that discipline. And that's part of why I love games so much, is because of the fact that you do... Okay, that was just god-awful. Let me just crawl down the stairs and chug some Estus. Okay, that was not what I meant to do. There's a lot of reasons, but... Okay. And this is exactly what I'm talking about, right? Like, I'm trying to do two things at once. I'm trying to play and commentate over it at the same time, and it's not easy. It's not something that I'm used to. And so a level that would normally, or not really a level in quite the same way that you typically think of it, but okay, that was just pathetic. There we go. A task that would normally be relatively easy, relatively trivial for me, is compounded in difficulty because I'm trying to... That's just rude. Come up the stairs and fight me like a man. It's compounded in difficulty because I'm trying to do something with it that I haven't done before. I'm trying to add complexity to it, and then by doing that, it makes it more challenging. And that's not a bad thing, though. You can add challenge onto something, and you become more proficient as a consequence of it. Like, that's the really cool thing about video games, is you can artificially constrain yourself, and then by artificially constraining yourself, get better. You can find instances where you are able to exploit mechanics that you wouldn't have otherwise been able to exploit because of the practice that you put in during time when you were artificially restricting yourself. And then once you do that, now your overall level comes up. Now you don't have to rely on blocking. You don't have to rely on parrying. You don't have to rely on any particular mechanic. And instead, what you're able to do is you're able to capitalize on potential moments where a particular thing is the right approach, right? Is the right thing. And hey, we got our bloodstain back. Hooray. But you wouldn't be able to capitalize on that if you hadn't done the practice, if you hadn't taken the time to figure out, okay, how do I best utilize this particular opening, right? Because I could just, oh gosh darn it, I hate it when that happens. When you try and plunge attack and then the plunge attack misses even though you're targeted on them. Because why would we have that be a thing? Okay. Pick up the mystery key. And I think for this we're just gonna make it to the next bonfire. Okay, please don't. Okay, I'm just gonna roll over and then hopefully not die on this. There we go. Chug. Kill you, and one more. There we go. Cool. I was going to talk about the gaming couch, and I ended up just talking about game mechanics and why I love games. I might just stick with that for now. Oh yeah, actually, let me get the soul really quick. I think I have enough time. I'm trying to keep these about... Oh, okay, that was silly. I'm trying to keep these about 20 minutes. I don't want to take up too much of folks' time with my rambling, but I do also want to get some practice in, you know? So anyway, what was I talking about? Talking about movement, talking about learning attack patterns, talking about death as a... How about falling as a mechanic? Death as a mechanic, especially in a game like this, where... Especially once you get over failure, right? Like a lot of other games, you're not ever supposed to die. If you die, it's because you're making a mistake. Whereas with this, it's like, okay, we're going to brutally punish you for making mistakes, but at the same time, it's okay, right? Like, it's part of the game. It's part of the intended path forward for you. You're not supposed to just be able to come in and, like, obviously people who have had more experiences with... Oh, I freaking hit the wall. And, okay, I got super lucky there. He had his parry stick out. Do I get something? Oh, okay. So, you're not... It's okay for you to fail. It's okay for you... He sometimes stabs twice, that's why. So that... Okay, there's an example, right? Like, he'll stab once... Will he do it this time? Nope, he's still stabbing once. I want you to show me that you can stab twice. There you go. So, oh, 3 times even. So, you have to know, what can my opponent do to me? You have to be able to anticipate, and like that's a big, like, okay, right here, for example. I know that to my right, outside of this entryway, there is one enemy, and to my left there's another one, and the one on the left is going to charge me. So I'm going to come out, I'm going to show my face, I'm going to immediately run back in, because it's really hard to fight both of them at the same time. And he comes in, right, and I'm going to be able to come in, and I'm going to whack him. And I'm going to whack him again. And the one on the right comes in more slowly. And so now, rather than trying to fight 2 enemies, one in front of me, one behind me, I can funnel them both into a choke point. But the only reason I was able to do that was because of the fact that I was already aware of where they were located. Was because I was aware of how they could potentially hit me. And so it's the same thing with attack patterns. But you're learning, right? You're learning with each one of your deaths, what are the nasty things that my opponent could do to me. And it's the same thing in pretty much every game. You're not supposed to, like, any good game, I should say, You're not supposed to be able to just win. Okay, that was really dumb on my part. Can I drop? And then I don't have any Estus left. Oh gosh, I might just run. We're just gonna run. We're just gonna get to the next bonfire and call it. And here's another thing. I wouldn't be able to run to the next bonfire. I wouldn't know the path. I wouldn't know, like, where it's located. I wouldn't know how to safely navigate my way there if I didn't have prior experience, if I hadn't died loads and loads of times that were off screen that other people haven't seen, right? And maybe that's the bigger point, is you don't know, like, if you're watching somebody and you're seeing, oh my gosh, look at how good they are, look at how professional and polished they are, you don't necessarily know what they went through in order to get there, right? You don't necessarily know what was it, or what trials and tribulations have they gone through already that have enabled them to have the performance that they're having right now. Because I guarantee that what they're doing is they're seeing all of the possible failures that they could have, and they know how to avoid every single one. And so when you're watching someone else play, when you're watching someone else talk, don't just think about the things that they're doing, right? Because that's relatively simple. Think about all the things that they're not doing. Think about all of the experiences that they've had where they failed, but they learned through that failure. And as a consequence of that, they were able to improve. They were able to get better. And you get to see the end thing. You get to see the finished, polished product. But in my opinion, you get an even deeper appreciation for that finished, polished product the more you learn about all of the steps and all of the difficulties that it takes to get there. And with that, I think I'll call it. Goodbye then. Be safe, friends. Yes, I'm a cringe lord. I don't care, Grizz. Don't you dare go hollow.